Hello ladies and gentlemen, Mangum here. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the summoner and a build for the summoner. I'm going to go in depth on what makes the summoner great and what makes it so hard to build around. We're going to be doing an explosive type build because the summoner, as each class is, the summoner is unique in its wording for the types of things that it specifically buffs in the game. So the summoner has unique verbiage that deals with explosive damage, mainly because the summons, when you sacrifice them, they explode, right? And then the final summon that you get does a big explosion and then drops a whole bunch of little bombs for the explosion. It's going to be the Ruthless perk is what we're going to main here for the summoner. And then when summons deal damage to when the summoner deals damage to the minion, it causes them to enrage, gaining 20% attack speed along with 50% increased damage and movement speed. So we have the Reaver, and then we have the Flyer, and then we have the Hollow, right? They each have a purpose. When it comes to builds, I want you to know that you can be flexible with these builds. For the situation, for the environment, for a summoner, it's good to change the summons that you have available to you and what summons you're using and within which area that you're actually using them in. We're going to be pairing this with the medic, as the medic gives us a few things that we need here. We need that benefactor, the increased relic use speed by 20%. And use gains -1 stagger, so we don't get knocked down. This build is a bit squishy, and we're going to be using the healing shield. Now the healing shield for your minions is going to be key, as we're pairing it with the generating band. Now the armor that I have here is the summoner's armor because I like the way that it looks for the build. Drip is everything, and we're combining it with the shielded heart. So we're going to have ammo pickups on that. We're going to have a little bit of DR, and then we're going to have the mod damage, because the mod damage for the anguish is going to be everything, but other explosive weapons as well, we're going to need that mod damage, such as the corrupted affiliate, which has the micro nova, scatters 5 star orbs on contact. They explode, but if you blow them up, they end up doing a burning damage over 10 seconds, 900. It gets more bang for its buck, and it gets amplified by the summoner. Now I do have this paired with the anguish. I have an anguish video coming out later. You can probably find many of those anguish videos on YouTube, but I'm going to put out one as well. So load the weak, rapidly fires volatile needles that explode after 1.5 seconds, dealing 207 damage. Now we're not using the blasting cap ring or anything like that. We're combining this with the gift of the unbound, as our summoner needs to be unbound, as one of the best rings in the game reduces your damage. So it negates the negative abilities of the unbound items. Combining this with the generator band, burden of the divine, which gives the healing benefits 30% to benefited allies, which is our summons. We're not worried about the negative effect there. And then we are going to be using this with the burden of the destroyer that increases all damage by 15%. And then last but not least, we're going to be combining this with burden of the departed, which increases all damage dealt by 10%. So we're sitting at a 25% all damage boost with the burden of the gift of the unbound. That gives us 5, 10, 15 percent movement speed because each burden is lifted. You're automatically going to get the regrowth with this, and you're going to get the triage. Now lifesteal does not work with triage. I'm pretty sure I've tested it. That's what I got leech in the game for, lifesteal efficiency, but you get triage anyway. We have the fortified kinship, vigor, spirit, expertise, bark skin, siphoner, blood bond, and rugged. Now if you want to take something away, you can take away the vigor, but I found out that I need the vigor. I didn't need any amplitude or anything. We're not looking for our explosions to go outside of their intended target or their intended radius. Now, once you do get leech, if you do have leech, you could take down some things on vigor and then put them into leech. Now, let me show you what the corrupted affiliate can actually do. The width of the beam is quite large, and the projectile speed for each orb is quite fast. Now, if you wanted to take off the generating band, put on something else for a different heart, you can put on like Archer's Crest. It will change the velocity at which the anguish or the orbs for the corrupted affiliate do travel, so it'll increase that travel time. Now on the corrupted affiliate, we do have the feedback, as when you use the mod and you get a bunch of hits, Each individual orb is going to give you feedback. And then on Anguish, we have Harmony. So feedback Harmony has been a staple in many mod generator builds, as you really can't replace those. The time that you're going to be using the Corrupted Affiliate and getting that fire damage is going to be feeding mod power back into the Anguish, and then when using Anguish, it's going to feed mod power back into the Corrupted Affiliate. Now, what if you don't have the Anguish, because it's quite a lengthy quest to get it? You can do a Corrupted Meridian. That is also very good. I do not like the Corrupted Meridian. I use the regular Meridian. And you could also use the Hellfire. The Hellfire is a flamethrower type weapon used up close, but the explosive damage what you get for utilizing the mod is very good. For a long time, I was using the Corrupted Nebula. Now, the Corrupted Nebula is quite unique, as when you hit weak spots, you get these nanobots that come out. The Corrupted Nebula it has this use. It's not better than the original, because the seekers for the original Nebula seek faster than the Corrupted Nebula. Like, the regular Nebula seekers will just go find something. Corrupted Nebula, you kind of gotta like point and shoot and let it do its thing. But overall, with the Corrupted Nebula, you're hitting weak spots, you're putting damage down range, you're activating the nanobots. Now, the nanobots, the Corrupted Nebula, in most cases deal up to like 2,430 damage for each individual little nanobot that circles them, so it's quite a bit of damage, and it does 607 overall acid damage for 10 seconds, right? So you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck here with the Corrupted Nebula versus the regular Nebula, because you're not going to get that explosion that's going to happen with that Corrupted Nebula. I mean, with the regular Nebula. With the regular Nebula, you're just going to get what you get, but the Corrupted Nebula, you get that explosion. Again, you can combine this whole build with Thorn. They fixed Thorn with explosive damage and how explosive damage works with that type of thing. So you can use Thorn instead of the Corrupted Arbalest, Corrupted Affiliate. And also the Corrupted Arbalest does do well in this build too, as each one of its ricochet shots and then calling down its mod activates an explosion. So again, I want you to be flexible with these builds. I'm not just going to put out one thing and tell you, hey, this is the way that it should go. This is a way that I use to build, and I've used it for a multitude of hours, and I liked what came out about it. So the Corrupted Affiliate for me, and the Anguish, along with the melee weapon that I forgot to talk about, which was the Nightshade. I went with something claw-like, because enemies that get up on you really fast, you're going to want to end them very quickly. And a sword and a spear just didn't do it for me. You could use the Krill Axe. That's a fan favorite, but I went for the claws with the lifesteal and the shielded strike for that, so I can get my regenerator band going, and I can get health back for doing that. And then you do the neutral dash attack, and then you can do lifesteal, because the summoner is all about lifesteal. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the build and see how it plays. If you want me to throw a boss in there next time against how it fights, I could throw a boss in there. The only boss that I really had trouble against with this whole build was the Abomination when I actually used it, because the Abomination hits so hard and so fast, and he rolls around. So that was quite a bit of a struggle for me when it came to utilizing this build, was the Abomination. So like, share, and subscribe. Go check out the other builds on the channel, and I will see you in the next one.